And here we go. Hello, everyone. Wherever you are in the world, thank you for joining us now, and thank you if you are listening to this episode later. This is Jacob talking to you from Race, and we're bringing to you this series of live talks that focus on neurolanguage coaching. It's brought to you with a collaboration with Juan Carlos, our dear friend and partner. With me today, my guest, Virginia. Thank you very much for joining me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And thanks for the invitation, Jacob.
My pleasure. Without further ado, we're not going to take much of the audience time, so hopefully we'll spend around 30 minutes. Going through the the wonderful I hope exciting as well journey that you have taken so far through languages and life experience in general.
Yeah.
So Virginia, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, wow. Well, Virginia Cutchin, I have been a lifelong learner. When I was younger, I used to call it burning, because I would maybe take a Sunday afternoon and sit on the floor of my apartment, and back then we had physical encyclopedias, and I would pick a topic, look at the encyclopedia, and let it lead me to other topics. And I could
Wow.
spend whole afternoons on into the evening like that. I've done that for many, many years. Not with physical encyclopedias anymore, but I've always been a learner and a curious person. So I was born here in the United States. When I was 11 years old, my family moved to Italy.
Right.
So I had 2 years in Italy, and that really sparked my love of culture and language and other countries and all things international.
Right.
So yeah, and it was really my sixth grade teacher, who was a total Renaissance man,
Okay.
who really awoke in me this nearly unquenchable thirst for knowledge and finding out about the world.
Right. Well, that's great. So Italy, was there any other destination after Italy?
So we moved on after 2 years. We moved on to England.
Okay.
So we lived in England for 2 years as well.
Right.
After England, came back here to the United States, but I never really recovered from repatriation, I think. So years later, I moved to pursue a job in China. So I lived in
Right.
China for a while, but that was years and years later
Right.
as an adult. But ever since repatriating from England, yeah, I just
Right.
I never got over it. So I was always looking uh, for for things international, and that led me to my educational background, which is I have a BA in political science and an MBA in international business.
Oh, so that's great. We all, I personally feel that I belong to the world. I
Mm,
look at myself as an international citizen. And definitely the more we travel and, the more we travel, talk to people, see different cultures, the more we realize
yeah,
we are not so different after all. We are
that's
different, but we are the same, if you know what I mean.
I do. I do know what you mean. And
Right.
I experience the same thing. And there's a saying,
Yeah,
they say the limits of my language are the limits of my world.
absolutely.
And the more we expose ourselves to the more we expose ourselves to anything, this adds and contributes to our ability to be creative
Yeah,
and to be sensitive, we hope, and to be curious, and share experiences, share a dialogue
right.
with other people, and realize that there are so many different values and pursuits and goals and dreams, but our hearts beat the same way,
The
and
same,
our brains
true,
work the same way, and we live under the same universe.
true, absolutely true. Virginia, you mentioned so this early longing to knowledge. You said you used to call it burning.
Burning, yes, yes. I used to feel
Okay.
like I burned inside because I felt I couldn't learn enough fast
Right.
enough. Yeah, yeah. And I still have that. I still have that curiosity. It's a little more disciplined now,
Right.
because of resources and time and other constraints. But and life happens to us, so it
True.
wasn't always like that. But I really feel myself. I feel that I have lived a life that I can talk about, and
Yeah.
a life that I can share. And it hasn't always been, who's by the time you're my age, it hasn't been a paved road the entire way.
Right.
So there's a lot of been there, done that.
Right.
A lot of recovery, a lot of struggles, but a lot of um, gratitude as well.
Yeah. Well, I hope you can share with us as much as possible within these 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So we are here to listen. And this is our friend, Ollie. Yeah, thank you, Ollie, for
Hello,
joining
Ollie.
us. Yeah, feel free. And we're waiting for your comments and questions as well. Virginia, so if we dive into neurolanguage coaching,
Mm,
um, would you like to tell us your story, where it started? Where and when did you find about neurolanguage coaching and where you're today?
yeah, thank you for the question. So I love to talk about neurolanguage coaching.
Okay.
So what happened? So I have been my professional background. I'm a business owner. I've owned my own business for over 20 years as an intercultural consultant.
All right.
So I've exposed myself and I've educated myself with languages and cultures and all of educational systems and all of that.
All right.
So I've been an educator for many years, but when the pandemic hit the
Okay.
world, late 2019, early 2020,
Yeah.
intercultural coaching, intercultural training evaporated, disappeared. People
Right.
weren't moving, no one was spending money, people weren't going anywhere. So my business dried up. So
Right.
I had to cast around quickly for a transferable skill that I could transfer into something else.
Mm-hmm.
At about the same time, and this is a perfect example of the universe coming together for me,
Yeah.
at about the same time, I have a friend, a LinkedIn friend, and she and I know each other from the intercultural world.
Right.
But she happened to mention a woman named Rachel Paling.
Right.
I didn't know about Rachel, but this woman, this friend of mine, knew that I was wanting to pursue language coaching as an addition to my business, to the intercultural training that had disappeared.
Yeah.
So she saw a couple of LinkedIn posts. She contacted me and said she also knows that I'm a neuroscience nerd. I love neuroscience and physiological psychology and nutrition.
Right.
So all of those things as well, and the impact of all that on learning. So long story short, Michelle introduced me to these courses
Right.
by Rachel Paling. So I took a course and I was absolutely captivated. Not a whole course, just a workshop, just a webinar. And I
Right.
was absolutely captivated. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is everything I love. This is coaching because I was already a certified executive coach and a,
Right.
and a health and wellness consultant, a certified health coach. So I thought, okay, everything I love, health and wellness, coaching, neuroscience, language, and this was it. This was like it wasn't a spark, it was a firework, it was a volcano. And
Right.
so put everything together for me. So I pursued it. I took the basic course. Then I have since gone on to complete all of the courses, and I'm now a certified teacher trainer of the neurolanguage coaching method.
Wow. That's brilliant.
Yeah, so
Um,
yeah.
yeah. So you mentioned your connection or this special bond with languages. Could you tell us a little bit more about this, please?
So, yes, this is kind of a, we have to go way back now.
Why not?
Right? Why not? So, when I was a kid, my parents, around Christmas time, used to
Right.
speak in Spanish
Okay.
around Christmas time to hide what they, so they could speak openly with me in front of me and my sisters, but that we wouldn't know what they were saying. So I thought, oh, this is not fair. So I taught myself enough Spanish so that
Okay.
they couldn't do that anymore. So, and I was young, I was 7, 8, 9. But I got a book on Spanish out of my elementary school library, and I taught myself enough Spanish. So that sort of awoke an interest in languages and the neural connections, because I found it to be very easy for
Yeah.
me. A couple of years later, when we moved to Italy, of course, learned Italian. Much of that Italian I remember now.
Mhm.
I don't speak it on a daily basis, but much of it I do remember. But that awoke in me. I studied French. I've studied Italian, French, Spanish,
Right.
and now as an adult, I learned and teach Mandarin Chinese.
Wow.
And I will never learn, I won't live long enough to learn all the Chinese I want to know. I'll have to wait for the next life for that.
Yeah.
But so Chinese also fits into my worldview and my universe view.
Right.
So those are my passions now. Nutrition, because I fold in neuronutrition, I call it, nutrition into my coaching,
Right.
and into my language and my coaching and my executive coaching and blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
that's what I do.
That's wonderful. I'm fascinated by the story about your parents because, and I can relate to that a little bit because I grew up, coming from, um, Nigerian origin. So
Hmm.
uh, one of the main languages there is Hausa. And I grew up uh, in a house where my grandmother would talk Hausa
Mm.
to my uncles and aunts, so her children, and we picked up enough Hausa, so she ended up communicating with us in Hausa.
Wow.
Um, Not all of us picked it up, but we would understand. I mean, me personally, I would understand enough to, abide by those, let's say, orders. Go and bring that. Go and do that. And it's always mostly in Hausa. So yeah,
Wow. Wow. Fantastic.
yeah.
It's and what did can I ask you a question?
I'll go ahead.
Was that, what did this early experience have to do with your interest in neurolanguage coaching and languages and coaching and the world that you're in now?
Well, so when you said that, when you kind of painted that picture of, you're moving through
Mm.
different, countries, continents, and languages. So for me, that's the relation. At that
Hmm.
age, I didn't know that, I would love languages, but I grew up in a household where Hausa was spoken, Arabic was spoken, and I ended up going to schools, of course, and that was mainly Arabic and then English. Only later on, when I reflect and look back, I realize, oh, so languages were there right from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, and then, well, that ended up with neurolanguage coaching, but that's probably we'll leave that to another session. I don't want to take your time here. Um, So, Virginia, you mentioned you keep mentioning nutrition and languages.
Yes. Hmm. Hmm.
What would you like to tell us about it?
Oh my goodness. Oh, what a fascinating topic. I First of all, gave a I gave a presentation earlier this year at the Neurolanguage Coaches Conference in Sitges, Spain,
Hmm.
on the role of nutrition in learning and memory.
Right.
And I have since gone on to talk on that topic at other conferences, and I now do a series of webinars
Right.
on different aspects of the role of nutrition in
Yeah.
learning and memory. And preparing for that presentation and subsequent presentations that I've done, and also my own background in nutrition as a health coach, but also as a former eating disordered person, a former, recovering whatever.
Yeah.
I have come to regard that we as humans, as animals, we are an exquisite, just exquisite creation, and I am daily awestruck by the subtlety and the exquisite choreography going on in
Okay.
our bodies and in our brains. And so now so my path now is nutrition and coaching in Chinese, and all of those together, because the role of nutrition in learning and memory and recall, and nutrition also includes sleep, it includes light, it includes breath, it includes stress, all of
Okay.
that, and the impact on our ability to learn and store memories and recall those memories, different kinds of memories, cannot be overstudied, and it cannot be overstated, I think. And this is just an absolute, I salivate when I think about it because I'm absolutely intoxicated by this topic.
That's good. Intoxication. Why not?
Yeah, yeah. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And um, so, would you like to share with the audience then a tip or two from that experience about nutrition? And you
Mm,
mentioned, the Neurolanguage Coaching Conference. A tip
mhm.
or two about nutrition, Neurolanguage coaching, and learning languages.
Sure. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. So if I had to pick one aspect of
Yes.
nutrition,
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. So I'll have to pick more than one.
Go
But
ahead.
the first one that comes to mind is sleep. There are things our
Okay.
bodies do when we sleep that it doesn't do at any other time.
Okay.
And if we don't get enough sleep, then our bodies won't go through that crucial process. One
Right.
of those processes is called long-term potentiation, which is the movement of memories and learnings from short-term memory to long-term memory. So our bodies do that at night or when we sleep, whenever we sleep and get into that deep sleep. If we don't do that enough, we will not be able to transfer those learnings and those memories. So that's the first thing,
Right.
is getting adequate sleep. And there are tips about timing and when to learn, when to sleep, and all that.
Right.
That's for another conversation. The second thing that I would mention is, in terms of nutrition, really know. So people say you are what you eat.
Mhm.
I have a modification for that. You are what you absorb.
Okay.
Because the best nutrition in the world won't be helpful if you can't absorb it. And there are things that we absorb in our gut that directly, if not determine, they at least influence our brain health. So there was an article that came out recently in Neuroscience News linking gut health, brain health, and resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after stressful
Yeah.
situations. So gut health, brain health. So they know now that your gut health mirrors your brain health,
Yeah.
and gut health comes first. So if you don't have a healthy gut, healthy nutrition, healthy digestion, you won't have as healthy a brain as you could have.
Yeah.
So those are the two things. Those are sleep, number one, digestion, number two.
Lovely. Um, right. I'd like to share. Ollie here engaged with us. Yeah, something about intoxication you mentioned. So thank you, Ollie. Yeah. So it's not an intoxication. That's cure healing.
Right. Right. That's right.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
brilliant. So if we go back now to neurolanguage coaching,
Mm,
are there any stories where you worked with a client or a learner,
mhm.
any language, and you found out that actually this or that bit of neurolanguage coaching helped?
it, wow, so much to choose from. Thank you for the question, Jacob. What I can tell you is that through my own gobbling up of, of Chinese,
Yeah.
Chinese is a vastly different language than, say, a language based on an alphabet,
Hmm.
English, or any of the Romance languages.
Right.
So so I love teaching or coaching English to Chinese learners and
Right.
coaching Chinese to English speakers.
Right.
The most challenging, I think, and the most rewarding, the most aha moments
Yeah.
come from English speakers who are learning Chinese, because
Okay.
often they haven't been exposed to pictorial language before, to Chinese characters. But
Yeah.
Chinese characters are so complex,
Right.
and they communicate, they express emotion in a single character that it would take us words and words and words to express. So everything in Chinese, visually, everything in Chinese is, well, Chinese is based on radicals and phonetics. So the radicals are all nature based. And I found from my own personal aha moment
Right.
that one reason that I am so intoxicated and drawn to Chinese is the representation of nature in
Right.
those characters, and also in the mindset of Chinese speakers. They are
Yeah.
connected to the language, to the land, and to their spirituality in a universal sense. So that to me is the most, it has sunk its teeth into me and won't let go. So that was my aha moment. And I love opening up that aspect of our own ability to think in those terms that
Yeah.
many English speakers have never have never even considered their ability to do that.
Right.
So it's wondrous to witness.
Well, that this is absolutely a brilliant image. With Chinese, I would assume that it just fascinates everybody in the world,
Hmm.
just by looking at it. And for someone like me who doesn't understand it, it's fascinating just by looking at it. So I would imagine for someone like you who actually studied the language, that would be way a different level, yeah, of that, intoxication,
Yeah,
as you
yeah.
put it.
Yeah, some people look at Chinese characters and run the other way.
Oh,
Yeah. Because they think, "Oh my God,
from joy.
I hope." But I warn you, I can hook anybody on Chinese.
Well, so funny you mentioned that. So you shared with us a phrase. I'd like to put it now for the audience to see it. Um, I don't know what's in there. I can see only my name written in English, but the rest of it, no idea. So would you like to, I don't know, shed some light, maybe?
Sure, sure. So you'd like I don't know who wrote this, but so the first is 大家好.
Uh-huh.
This is fascinating because the character da looks like this, right? You can see the first character da.
Yes.
What is
Yeah.
that? That's a person with his arms outstretched,
Yeah.
saying, yeah,
Okay.
what do you do with a kid? You say, one of the first things you say to an infant is, how big are you? And they
Yeah.
go, so
Yes.
big. That's the word for big in Chinese, the character for big. Da.
Okay.
Jia, this second character, jia, is the top part of it where you see a little thing that looks like a chimney and a
Yep, I can
roof.
see that.
That's the roof radical. So that's what's under the roof. The roof, what's under the roof is a character, and you're going to laugh at this. The audience may laugh at this. What's under the roof is a character for pig,
Okay.
P-I-G, pig.
Yeah.
The character itself is pronounced jia, jia.
Okay.
So what is, and it means home. So what is a pig doing under a roof, and how does that mean home?
Hmm.
because
Uh-huh.
the pig in Chinese culture is auspicious. And if you have a pig, if you have your own pig in your home, it means you are self-sufficient.
Okay.
So the anything under your roof is is in your home, and
Right.
that's your possession, that's your strength. So 大家, the word two characters together, 大家, mean everybody.
Okay.
So every home.
Right.
So 大家, and this third character 好 are two radicals. The one on the left is the radical for woman,
Uh-huh.
and the one on the right is the radical for son, as opposed to daughter. So,
Okay.
and they are side by side. Now, in Chinese, placement is everything. And you'll
Right.
notice with the previous character, the pig was
Yeah.
under the roof. It wasn't
True.
on top of the roof, it was under the roof.
Okay.
So, here in the character hao, which means good, the woman is next to her son. They're on the same level. And the idea is that if a woman has a son, that's a good thing. So
Okay.
the character evolved to mean good.
All right. And that's just an exclamation mark, I would assume. That's nothing to do
That's
with
right. That's
Chinese.
right. That's right. That's right. So 大家好 means hi everybody. Is everybody good? Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. 大家.
Right. So, okay, yeah, feel free to go ahead. I'm not sure how much deciphering the rest of it will take, but if we can get the gist of all that,
Right. Okay. So we won't decipher all the rest of it,
yeah.
but the rest of it says 感谢 Jacob. 感谢 is thanks very much. 感谢 Jacob 给我们个机会 for giving us this opportunity 分享 to share 为Neurolanguage Coaching 神经语言
Yeah.
教练 coaching 的历程. So this opportunity to introduce us to neurolanguage coaching.
Well, you're welcome. Right, that's really beautiful.
Yeah, it is
Um,
beautiful. Whoever wrote
yeah.
that.
Well, that's a very good question. I would say that was in the form you filled in. So, or let's
Oh,
say the form that came from
mm,
Virginia's account. So
oh,
it could be, I don't know, it could be AI.
it could be, could be.
But
Pretty
yeah,
good job.
you're absolutely welcome.
Yeah.
Anyways, um, Virginia, we're reaching the end of
Yes.
the webinar or the session. Any final words?
Oh, so so yeah, the Chinese have an expression 活到老学到老, which means if you live till you're old, learn and study till you're old. And just, they say the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So I would say just put one foot in front of the other. Wherever
Yeah.
you are in your language journey, just put one foot in front of the other and you'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is the next talking of the next moving forward, the next step and so on? What is next for Virginia?
Ah, well, I just last Friday morning, I passed my International Coach Federation credential for the ACC.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. So I'm an official ACC now. The
Right.
next thing is to finish up my course in applied neuroscience, and then to give a webinar on July 18th for the next webinar in the series, The Role of Nutrition in Learning and Memory, and this one is going to be about stress.
Lovely. That's absolutely brilliant. Well, you've had it, everyone. You can always reach out to Virginia. We put earlier put Virginia's LinkedIn, and on the screen, that's Instagram.
Yeah.
Virginia, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely
Thank
pleasure,
you.
and we'd love to have you over and over again. As you said,
Absolutely.
there is a lot to share.
There's a lot to share. So thank you, and thanks everybody who attended. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you very much.